Hi, this is Majin, and here's my stack of reviews. I'm going to be kind of quick for some of these again. We have Earth 2, Detective, Forever, Hunt, SpiderMan, Mighty, Hunger. Okay, all I gotta say about Earth 2 is it is freaking violent. I was like, holy crap, I am enjoying every single second of this. And it is a shame when James Robinson is going to be off this book, because this book is going to lose everything that was special about it. Now, the ending is kind of like a shocker type ending, and I won't spoil it, but in a way it does kind of tie in with the Dark Seed villains crossover. The villain month potentially. I'll probably need to see the next issue to figure that part out more, but overall I was very pleased with it, and TC really jacked themselves because Robinson was doing a fantastic job. I mean, maybe the sales numbers aren't as high as they wanted or something, but I don't know. It's solid work. Okay, Detective Comics. I honestly did not remember what was going on. I saw this book and I'm like, what? Oh yeah, that's right, they're still fighting. And, I mean, the art's good, and I guess you can say the origin of Wrath is kind of, well, I mean, it's nothing creative. It's just your typical man has issues with cops, so he goes on a rampage and tries to kill them all, type thing. And in a way, to me, I guess you could say what this really looked like to me was they wanted to establish a brand new character and then give him personality, give him a voice, and then use him later. And that's what it kind of sounds like what they try to do with these issues here. I just wish that they had concluded this before the villain month, so this way I wouldn't have to go, what? Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Whatchamacallit was Alfred was beat up, and oh yeah, that's right, the cops had the vest, and trying to remember all this nonsense. And then I saw next issue is Gotham Year Zero, and I'm just like, done. Why are they doing this to me? Why do they make me suffer? Okay, next up is Forever Evil number 2. Now this one, it's enjoyable, and at the same time, it's kind of like in a weird situation where I'm wanting more, but I think I'm wanting more for minor things. But I have to admit that Johns is doing a decent job with this so far. He's really laying the groundwork for different potential plot holes, or plot lines, threads going forward, and I can see where he's also like denting their armor, so to speak. Like for an example, you have uh, she's pregnant, and Ultraman thinks it's his, but she's playing it as it's Owlman's. Now I don't know I don't know what it is. I don't know whose baby it is, but that's obviously going to cause some problems later, obviously. And also they make reference to the thing that forced them to leave. Now, which actually made me think back to their original miniseries Trinity War. Now, the Trinity War was, the three Justice Leagues battling, and that was their big hype. It said, look at that, it's the three Justice Leagues battling, meeting for the first time, fighting. And then they said, ha 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 ha, no, 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 no. The three doesn't mean those three, what the three means is Earth 3. But then, I thought one step further. What if the Trinity War really isn't any of those two things? What if it's Justice Leagues versus Crime Syndicate versus the being that forced them to leave? And that is your Trinity War. And of course you can throw, the Secret Society, and you can throw Teen Titans under their respective groups, but That's what I started to think, is that was what's really going to be the Trinity, because like a good. I mean, you don't just leave something like that hanging. Like that thing could, and they make reference to it could follow them, and so that's what I'm starting to think. Maybe there's more to this story than they're leading on. Now, as expected, the Teen Titans just get owned pretty quickly, which is kind of like a disappointment that they got just demolished so fast, and they're pretty much just wiped off the table, so to speak, which would make sense. But at the same time, I wanted at least some of them to live, or not really live, but to stay behind to continue the fight, so to speak. Also, we get to see a lot of Lex Luthor with Bizarro, and I mean, overall, the art I thought was good. The I mean, I know Finch has, he gives a lot of people have issues with Finch, and I see every complaint in this book that people have of Finch. I mean, hell, I look at Lex Luthor and I don't even know that that's Lex Luthor sometimes. And then there's a panel here where it's like it's clear that this is Ultraman leaving, but yet Ultraman is right there. And then the next panel, it's a Warrior Woman or whatever her name is. And so I'm like going, well, you drew the wrong panel. So I mean, obvious, but so there's obviously mistakes and things like that. And also, there's something going on with Power Ring's hand, which I want to know more about. So, I mean, this is actually a good issue in laying the foundation down. So, for all you people out there who think that I'm unnecessarily critical against DC, that's not always the case. I mean, they do good from time to time, and I will point out the good. But man, when it sucks, they need to do better. All right, next up is The Hunt. Now, with The Hunt, this actually is making a lot more sense now, because what this is you have those different academies, and you have Thanos' crew coming down looking for Thanos' son. So what they're basically doing is they send warriors down to each one of these academies, and man, these people are getting crushed, and it's violent, and there's some death, dismemberment, and I'm really, really enjoying it. But this is the weird thing for me, okay? So I'm reading the beginning part, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow, this art just kind of sucks. Compared, you're thinking this is going to be a big deal issue, and I'm like, it's not really that good. It's kind of plain. The faces are very, like, there's no sense of true emotion. The backgrounds are kind of weak. And then, for a title that you expect, like the All New X-Men, it can have this type of background, and I'm fine with it. But for this, I wanted more. And then all of a sudden, it just clicked. And I think it clicked right about the time when Wolverine threw his claws right through this guy's face. And then I started to get sold on this whole concept. And I'm gonna tell you this. This is my other disclaimer. The writing here, Matt's writing is not Shakespeare here. This is not no Jeff Johns. This is not no Brian Mike Bendis. So don't expect greatness. But this actually was it. It really started to make sense, and I'm really really looking forward to seeing the next issue. And like I said, it's not the best book in the world, and I guarantee you, even though I'm just singing the praises of The Hunt, there's going to be a whole bunch of you out there who are going to say, "You are out of your freaking mind. This book is bad." But I don't know, something clicked for me, and I'm really I guess what I would really like to see is a mixture of these teams going forward, doing something other than this Contest of Champions garbage. But anyways, I enjoyed it. Next up is Marvel Knights Spider-Man. Now this is going to be a Peter Parker story, and this is a 1-5 story. It's going to be a little bit darker, a little bit edgier, and I'm just warning you right now. Marco Rudy, while he does a lot of amazing things, in terms of page layout and design of everything, he cannot draw Peter Parker at all, and that is not Peter Parker. I don't know what that is, and it is such a distraction that it really threw me off this book. Like I was really, I mean, the concept is kind of cool. I mean, we get arcade, he's got to defeat 99 supervillains, and I'm like, this could actually be kind of cool. I don't, because I like arcade, and he's usually a chump, and um, especially now that he's got super powered up for Avengers Academy. I mean, not Avengers Academy, but the Avengers Arena. I'm really on top of that now. I mean, I want to see this character more, and but when I saw that as Peter Parker, I'm like, well, put the mask on ASAP. Well, luckily the mask goes on, and you can see here. I mean, some of this art is just fantastic. Now, granted, this almost looks like a werewolf biting him, but that's Morbius. Um, and it's just there's a lot of really nice things going on here, and it's just I'm really enjoying the art. He just needs Peter. He needs training. Okay, the Mighty #2. Okay, Mighty Avengers #2 is just a continuation of the brawl in New York City. It doesn't even really make reference as to what was going on in the Superior Spider-Man part of that story with the girl, and she's in the um, electrical grid. I'm gonna tell it like it is. This book, there's nothing special about it. It's just a brawl. The art is okay. I mean, Land. I normally hate Land with a passion, but his art, it doesn't have that as much of a Land look to the faces as much as it usually does. So I'm able to stand it more. Uh, but it's nothing special. I mean, I can say this. If you want to save yourself $4, save yourself $4. Wait for the trade to see if this book's going to be worth it. If you don't feel that you really need to buy this thing unnecessarily. Worst case, you just miss one general battle, and that type of a scenario. This book, I don't think, is really going to hopefully tie in too deeply into the main story arc. Other than you're just going to miss little bits and pieces of what's going on in Earth. Because, like, for example, Thunderbolts, I left that. That was just, no. That's a no. And finally, Hunger #3. Well, let's take a look at this one. Now, I don't want to say this was a mess, because they're kind of, what they're doing, and when I'm saying this is a mess is because it's all because of Rick Jones. I just hate these heroes that are just such wussy boys, that need their diapers and they're in a bottle, because they have this incredible power, but they're like, I don't want to fight. It's kind of scary. I think I just want to go home because it's too dangerous. And I'm just like, oh my god, if I had his powers, the things I would be doing. And then, so that's what's going on through my head as I'm reading this. And I know this is a major distraction. But then he does redeem himself at the end, and then I started to get excited again. And I'm part of me just wants more Galactus, but then all of this part here is just super important character building. And the other thing I'm wondering too is, if the Ultimate Universe is gone, then all of this is like, who cares? But if it's alive, then all of this is important, and it's like, I don't want the Ultimate Universe anymore because it's such a train wreck, and there's nothing you can do to fix it other than just to destroy it and take out Ultimate Spider-Man. But I don't know. The space part is all the best part of the issue. So my real feeling on this is simple. This is obviously going to be building up to something. So I don't know if you want to get left behind and then jump into Cataclysm without knowing what's going on. So unfortunately, if you want to be in the know, you're going to have to go through with this. But what I'm hoping for is, the first 2 issues were decent. The third is a little stumble. So I'm hoping that the next issues are able to pick it right back up again. And that's what it looks like it's going to start doing, since Rick Jones is finally ready to fight. And there's also a nice little thing about Peter in here too. So there's some good signs of hope. And let me get you some codes. I'll get you this one. This one have a code? Yeah. And I'll get you this one. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought. I mean, what did you guys think of Forever Evil? Did you think it was worth it? Did you think it improved? Do you think there's more to the Trinity War than what they're leading on? Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video. Like the Facebook link, Crunchyroll Anime Reviews, brand new season. So it's exciting times, and we'll have more reviews later. So until next time.